on blast.
My whip drop like bitches' asses. Cargo, ready to package. Paid up. I see haters watching, so fucking turn it up. Let these bitches drop it. My whip drop.
Yes, sir.
Like bitches' asses.
Testing. Oh yeah, this shit's working.
Yeah.
Real good.
Unpolished, unapologetic. Yes, we are back on blast once again. Gentlemen, it's great to be back.
What'd it do?
Hello, everybody.
I never left.
Ooh, I like that.
You live under my couch, eh? That's what that smell is? You son of a bitch.
Bike season.
First things first, sweeping the streets in Toronto. The Blue Jays. Do you believe by the time you listen to this or watch this, depending
watch
on
this.
your mobile device of choice,
Shout out.
they might still be on a winning streak, but either way, they've clearly turned things around. They're in the right direction. Do you believe in the run? Is this sustainable? Are we talking playoffs?
Let's take a step back.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Wow, everyone seems nervous. Everyone seems nervous.
You gotta be nervous. Look at what happened with the Leafs. I mean, come on now.
Look what happened with the Raptors. Everyone waited for them to fall off, and they didn't fall off.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next October. They could have another Leaf season right after the playoffs.
Yeah, well, the Raptors, I think nobody had an idea of what was happening. And if anyone does, like, if anyone that was a Raptors fan in October was like, we're going to the playoffs and we're going to actually, like, you know, push a 7-game, like, no, you're full of shit. Like, that's not the case. So anyways,
is this
continue.
a matter of Toronto being such a tortured sports fan base that we don't want to fully commit and jump on, despite the fact that our offense is doing work?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's a very like we swept 2 series. Like let's put it in perspective. With regards to whether it relates to Toronto, I think it does a little bit, but it's also just about the fact that it's the Blue Jays. We haven't done anything. We haven't been in the playoffs since 1993. I was a boy. I was a boy back then. You know, like
people born in like '94 can now buy cigarettes and shit. Like,
Yeah.
they have no idea.
No idea.
What happened.
I work with people that are like that were born then, right? So no, it's the fact that we haven't really been able to do anything. We've been in the playoffs since 1993. It's a long time.
So my question is then, what will it take for you to believe in this Toronto Blue Jays team? Like, do they have to be in first place or in contention?
It has to be
by
like
the All-Star
September.
break?
No, well, yeah.
It
well,
all
that
comes down to September.
No,
If
that's
you're
Like, I'll tell you, like, TV numbers are up.
Yeah.
Right? TV numbers are up, so, I mean, attendance isn't up,
Yeah.
but there's buzz for sure. And as much as Edwin and Jose Reyes, as long as these guys keep putting in work in their offense, and Milky, jeez. I don't know
damn.
what's... Yeah, right?
On
But
them new steroids.
Yeah.
Holla.
On that shit you can't detect.
something's up, right? But as long as these guys are still, like, the offense is banging, they'll be up there for a while, no?
I don't want to say a while, because a while in Toronto sports terms
we're so
means 6 weeks at best.
We're that
who
jaded,
the fuck are
eh?
we kidding?
We're scarred, man. We're
When
hurt.
Sports
We're
Illustrated
hurt.
dubbed us Tank City, that shit is still alive, like racism. Shout out to... No, I'm not going to shout out
No
to
shout out.
racism.
No shout out.
Shout out to
Just
Dollar
equate
Store.
takes
Shut
to
up to racism.
It's like this. It's like
I don't know.
That's
It's like every girl. Being a sports fan in Toronto, I think about is like every girlfriend you had just like went and not only just cheated on you,
Yeah.
but like made porno, and then you had to sit back and watch it because it was like
Because
it's
it's
like porno. It's like fuck.
I'm still
I
going to
gotta
jerk
watch- I
off
see
to
what
it.
happens.
Yeah.
You pay attention, it just hurts.
She never let me come on the
It's
face.
just. And then you look at the video, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I couldn't do that, right? But at the same time, it's like you equate that with like other teams and GMs in the league, and they're like, fuck, it just seems so easy to have a team that you can put together and win. We don't have that trust. We've been ripped off or brokenhearted so many
cheated.
times. We've been cheated. Our trust isn't there. So we, in fact, are the women in the relationship.
Ooh. The battered women or just the women?
I'm not going there.
Whoa,
Greg.
whoa, yeah. Like,
I'm
why
not
are you
going
always
there.
trying to take shit
that's,
next
that's
level?
a hard. That's a hard command minute.
We're always like right here, and then you try to like take it up there.
When I say battered, I don't mean like the battered and abused woman. I mean the emotionally abused one. The one
Battered
that's
means
been
battered, Greg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
we're
like
just gonna edit
not
that
like fish
out.
and
To
chips.
quote,
battered.
no, we're not
like-
editing it out.
Why
Because
not?
Dakota Wise, man, you are a habitual line stepper. So we'd be editing out the whole thing all the time.
Exactly. Can't do
Okay,
that.
so a hard pause. What I meant was we
No.
are the emotionally abused wife of the relationship, and in terms of they just let the prices go up. We keep buying them, and we keep getting let down. How many motherfucking Valentine's Days are we gonna have to sit there and be like, why do we only have one All-Star in the fucking NBA All-Star game? It's fucking a tragedy. It's
I don't care about All-Star games.
Do you remember when like Tony Soprano started banging the crazy car dealership chick, and she made that dinner on the yacht, and then she fucking lost her mind when he came late?
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes when I watch, you know, certain.
All of your
sports
guys'
and all
analogies fascinate me.
that. Isn't it? I just got on this trip.
I know, I'm so amused.
But at the same time, you know what?
I'll keep hoping
tired
for
of
the
it.
Jays to win just for the sole purpose that I continue to watch Jose Batista and company do the Nene dance.
Yeah.
After every win.
But
I want to see meaningful games in September.
thank you.
Not even making
Yeah,
the playoffs.
meaningful games in
I want
September is called football.
I want a
Thank you.
meaning. No, I want a meaningful game.
And good night.
Oh, bias.
My whip drop like bitches' asses. Cargo, ready to package. Paid up. I see haters watching, so fucking turn it up. Let these bitches drop it. My whip drop like bitches' asses. Cargo.
I know that the Olympics gets a lot of hype for being the greatest thing to happen every 4 years. But some might argue, and I will be one of them, despite not being a huge soccer fan, it's World Cup time.
Yeah.
Woo! But, of course, we're not going to try to break down who's going to win, who's going to lose, who we should root for. all that fun stuff.
Portugal.
We're going to talk on blast style
England.
and start with this story
What?
of Mexico's coach.
Classic Greg.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mexico's coach is banning his players from sex during the tournament. Is this a good idea? Do you think this will help their team's chances? He doesn't want them to party. He doesn't want them to have sex for the entire tournament. What do we think about this?
It's rough shit, man, because you know there's a philosophy. I think I've heard it more around boxers, right? Boxers, they don't get in, you know, any pussy or whatever before they fight, keep the focus or whatever. But isn't that like a distraction? Like, especially if you're in a place like I've been to Brazil, I've been to Rio. You know, not all the stadiums are in Rio. There's in other places in the country. It's a beautiful country. You know, yeah, like there's a lot of like pretty girls there. Yeah, there's a lot of pretty girls there,
A lot of
and
pop, a lot of AIDS going.
there's a lot of that going on. But it's like, well, don't you think that would be more of a distraction if you can't like I just think like the Mexican like hotel rooms will just be like a jerk fest, like 2001, like what the fuck are you trying to do? They're grown ass men. They're athletes. They're fucking. Most of them rather are actually like, you know, professional athletes getting paid tons of money.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, and
It's just weird.
This only fuels a fire of like the Brazilian team that's going to just be sending mad hookers to like their rooms,
Yeah.
and just being like, don't leave until you bust 5 nuts. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think it's.
I think he's setting the team up to fail in that sense, because when you're not playing, what are you doing? Not signing autographs and visiting the fucking local community
yeah,
center.
you're doing hard Brazilian cocaine
you're
and banging
partying with
hookers.
Brazilian hookers. And I mean, like, not that there's anything wrong with like doing that in your off time. I'm just saying you're setting your players up to become so distracted that when they face Cote d'Ivoire or Portuguese
Oh, Portuguese.
or fucking Azuri, you know, it's gonna work against them, because they're gonna look in the stands. Some girl's gonna go, woo, dick hard in those silk little fucking shorts. He's not gonna want to pass the ball, do a lead pass.
Yeah.
He's gonna say like, cleat someone, get a red
Oh,
card.
he's gonna like do in
wipe
soccer,
one out, you
in
know?
soccer fashion, like grab his ankle, fall to the ground,
Yeah.
and bust a quick one, and then
It's
get back
not
into the
gonna
game.
work.
And-
That kind of thing, like AB said, I only believe works in boxing. It keeps the fighters hungry. It keeps them focused. It keeps them angry. They want some pussy.
And plus,
I'm gonna knock
boxers-
you out and win and get some pussy.
Boxers do it for like one day. Like, I'm not gonna.
No,
like,
I
you
heard
know,
they do it for a month.
That's some bullshit. Man. Come
I
on.
don't know. That's crazy.
I can't remember who it was. I can't even remember what sport it was, but they asked the coach. They're like, because they get that question all the time, and the coach said, like, you know, I tell my players, like, if your last like successful whatever, whether it was a championship, whether it was a big game, if you had sex the night before, try to do that again. If you didn't,
It was a great
don't
cup.
do that.
It was a great cup.
It was a great cut.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was a great cup. It was
There
the
you
coach
go.
of the Rough Riders. I
Yeah.
think they
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
him.
There you go.
Because they were hosting it in Saskatchewan, so obviously it was a crazy party, because what else are you doing in Saskatchewan?
Right.
But, yeah, it was a huge party leading up to the Grey Cup. And they asked the coach if he's going to tell his players to not party or abstain from sex or whatever. But the reason behind this Mexican coach doing this is because in during the 2011 Copa America tournament.
Okay, yeah.
Who can forget?
They had to exactly right, exactly. The Mexican coach had to suspend 8 of his players for allegedly inviting prostitutes to the team's hotel.
Well, then that's easy. Just say, like, you can have sex all you want. Just make sure you're not paying for prostitutes.
Yeah, like if you're a
Do it on-
multi-millionaire, like,
Yeah. Bro, you're in the wrong business.
That's just
There
going.
we go.
That's just like that's just a step too far, right? Like
Yeah.
if
Coach
the
is like
issue
the Zen
is
master.
if the issue is prostitutes, then don't cut everything else out.
yeah.
If before the game they're Mexican, they had Mexican food and they just started shitting everywhere, as one does, you don't ban food. You tell them to have something
100%
else.
Right, man.
100%
You know, it's fucking, it's ridiculous. It's like, you know, it's soccer on the biggest stage. Arguably, it's sports on the biggest stage in the world.
It is.
in
For sure.
people's career.
It's a world game.
So like, you know, this is all distraction and shit. Like, this is not a fucking kindergarten class. Like,
Yeah.
you guys got to be focused, and focus is not saying don't have sex. It's more like, you know, do the negative of that. Like, keep them busy enough so they don't have that on their mind. And they're not
how
gonna
busy
be
are you gonna keep them in fucking Brazil?
training, warm up, eating at Devassa, which is a great food
Okay,
chain
so
in
you
Brazil.
covered 8 out of 24 hours.
So good.
Watching game tape.
Playing, watching game
Get
tape.
that
13
cheese,
hours out
man.
of 24.
Beach cheese. Yo, man, they
I've
have
been.
this cheese on the beach that they grill with some spices, just like cheese on a popsicle stick.
So it's
Shout
sort
out.
of like a Brazilian
Incredible.
Saganaki.
Very much like a Brazilian saganaki.
So basically,
that.
what we're
Kinda.
saying is that there's enough things to do for the Mexican team other than to get prostitutes and parties.
And don't- and
Absolutely
at the same
not. They're
time-
Mexican. Hello.
No, but
Coronas and
on the
cocaine.
real, like it's-
Again,
it's
habitual
busy.
line stepper.
I'm sorry, but it's true. Look at the culture that comes out of Mexico.
Listen, Donald Sterling, chill out, okay?
I'm just saying.
V. Steffiano over here.
I'm just saying. These guys are used to a certain lifestyle. They got money, they got bitches, they got coke, and they play soccer. Oh yeah, and they like tequila too.
Okay, so
I mean,
like maybe not all of them like coke or whatnot, but yeah, there's a certain
I beg to differ.
lifestyle.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted.
You can assume
They like shooting civilians. I've seen that on the
See?
television.
Who crossed the line there?
Well, but that
Oh,
that happens.
Yeah.
so does
That
cocaine
happens.
and tequila. But I'm not going to be
Tequila
the...
happens for sure. Fair.
Fair.
I'm with you on that.
All right.
All right. But I feel like, you know, okay, there's a certain lifestyle that professional athletes have.
Cockfighting too.
Yo, man, I've seen some live fucking cockfighting. That shit's fucking.
It's
gruesome.
dark.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't watch that.
that's
Anyways,
weird. You
I like
stepped
chickens.
over the line once again.
They're the roosters though.
Oh yeah, fuck them.
They're
Cocks,
roosters, yeah.
roosters, who fucking
But
cares?
anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like that's like a proper coaching tactic. Coach, like, how about you fucking run some drills, pal? Like,
True.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel like I don't want this to become like a thing where if like Mexico gets knocked out or they don't even make it past the group stage, it's like, oh well, because our coach gets fired instantly, because that usually happens after
Yeah.
the World Cup when you don't perform.
killed.
Coach gets fired and team's like, oh yeah, they couldn't let us pound vag, so we sucked. Like that's like this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's a fucking World Cup.
Maybe
like,
it's just a PR cover-up. Maybe he's going to let them live their lives. He just wants the focus to say...
well, fuck, we're talking about it. So
Oh, well,
fucking
that's what I
worked.
mean. Like, who
It
knows?
worked.
Maybe he's just saying this in an interview. Like, what are you gonna do? And it's like he was probably saying it as a joke, and it got carried out as a serious thing. Maybe he's not gonna like put these crazy NCAA restrictions.
Maybe he'll be hiring the prostitutes for them.
Exactly. Maybe it's just gonna be
Yeah,
saving
maybe he's
internal.
saving all the
Like-
bitches for himself.
like the Minnesota
that
Vikings
selfish
on that cruise.
motherfucker.
True. That's
Yeah.
a very valid point. If the
Yeah.
coach makes that rule, does that also mean that he doesn't get to have sex?
Yeah,
either?
what the
No,
fuck?
he's
Hold
not
on.
on the pitch kicking
I
balls.
think you have to lead by example. You can't just be like, you know, he'd tell his team that, and then they're
Meanwhile,
like,
he's like, yeah.
they're like on their way
He's at
back
the club.
to their
He's like,
hotel.
yeah.
They're on their way
like,
back to the
yeah.
hotel, and he's just like in this hot tub with like 100 girls. He's like, have a good game today.
He's like, yeah, he's like reshooting the Snoop Dogg beautiful video with like a mound of Viagra and fucking a bottle of jelly.
My whip drop like bitches' asses. Cargo, ready to package. Paid up. I see haters watching, so fucking turn it up. Let these bitches drop it. My whip drop.
So
like
as we
bitches'
as we
asses.
came in to shoot today, one of our members, Mr. AB,
What up?
appeared to be a little rattled and said that he had something he wanted to speak on. So this, my friend, is your platform.
I would say more frazzled than rattled.
Okay.
I don't know. I was
Mezamot.
Mezamot's a good one too. I was grabbing beer for the boys at one of my local beer store locations. I do live in Regent Park. I don't think that's really related at this point. I think this is kind of a general
South Cabbagetown.
South Cabbagetown. It's kind of a relative case for most of these beer store locations. I don't know. I just walked in there. I was standing in the lineup, and I was like, man, like this is like probably the grimiest place in the fucking world. And it does not have to be the grimiest place in the fucking world. These are paying customers. These are human beings. It just so happens that they may have some shortcomings in life. All right? But we don't have to like, present their, let's call it their one true vice.
Okay.
In such a manner. And like there was a few things in there that really kind of got me a little sideways. It's like you can tell that the people that are making these decisions aren't actual beer store customers. For example, in the window there was a poster, right? You know how they have this new campaign, it's called like Meat Beer, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Meat Beer, Meat Cabbagetown, blah 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 blah.
Lame.
There was a picture of a like a salmon on a barbecue on like a plank with like nicely sliced, lemon on top of it, and it said, salmon meat plank. And I'm looking around here, I'm like, none of these fucking people have a barbecue, number one. Secondly, none of these people know what the fuck a plank is and what they're gonna do with a fucking fish on a plank. So I was like thinking, it made me a bit more observant of what was going on, and I was like, man, I started to think that the beer store itself is the problem. The beer store itself is the problem. Now, let's compare it to convenience stores, for example. Yeah. People are saying, oh, they don't want beer sold in convenience stores. Well, how much worse is that? At least at the convenience store, you can buy other things. You can buy things that may distract you from beer. Maybe, maybe not. You may buy less beer. I don't know. You may buy a lottery ticket instead. Ain't nobody got beef with buying lottery tickets. Fucking lottery's a big thing right here.
Sticky bun.
Buy a sticky bun. Buy a honey bun. Buy a fucking curry bun, a Chinese bun. Shit's delicious. But I just kept standing there. The lineup was so long, so I had a lot of time to think about this. I mean, you guys were waiting for 20 minutes. And I just thought, I'm like, man, okay, how much worse would it be if these people were buying beer in a convenience store? Would you have a problem with that? I mean,
nope.
There's crazy people that are everywhere in Toronto. They walk into convenience stores all the time. They do what they got to do. They buy their water. They buy their Listerine. They buy their cigarettes, whatever. And I'm like, man, why is the beer store the only one place where it's like, that's the congregation? Like, it's just like so grimy. Maybe there was a way to address that.
It's because it's a monopoly, and they're the only ones that have access to the supply of beer, so they can do whatever
I feel
they
like
want.
they choose.
They could call this store "Go Fuck Yourself," and we would all go all the time.
I would just go to the LCBO.
You're missing a
No.
key point to this whole thing here. Can you return bottles to the LCBO? No.
I don't return bottles.
And
there.
that's
I just
why-
burn them. I just burn them.
Okay.
The scum go to the beer store.
No,
because
no. Look.
They take wine bottles that you probably don't drink yourself, scums, but you break into people's backyard to get
Are
it.
you talking about the downtrodden? You're calling them scum? Some people have problems.
Fuck.
And this is the thing, man. I'm not
Everybody
saying
got
everyone that shops at the beer store has problems. I'm not saying everyone that works at the beer store has problems. But then again, why would I be buying fresh new beer at a recycling joint?
I lived in Montreal.
Ooh.
Like,
I lived in
why would I be
Montreal. You
doing
could
it?
take
I don't
bottles
know.
back at the corner store.
At the corner store, exactly. So I don't know. I feel like the whole idea behind the beer store is just so fucked up that it kind of perpetuates that kind of lifestyle. Here's a good example. My cousin was in town back in '98. You guys all don't know him. I don't know if Sheldon, you met him, but I took him to the beer store, the one at Queen and Leslie.
Yes.
Shout out to the East End.
Yes, sir.
And we're in line. Classic beer store from back in the day. There's like the track there,
Yep.
right? The counter, and you're walking around. There's a couple mugs and some bullshit. You walk up, I walk up, and this is '98. So I'm like, 24 of Lakeport Honey, please. Guy goes to the mic.
24
Lakeport Honey. And then out of the back comes flying this fucking 2-4 out of the back. My cousin starts laughing hysterically. He's like, what the fuck is this, man? What is this? You just walk up to a guy, he speaks into a mic, and this shit comes flying from the back. I'm like, yeah, it's the beer store. Like, that's
wrong
what's
with
up.
it?
And
Yeah.
he couldn't articulate it to me. He's like, man, that is fucked up. That is like fucked up. I'm like, okay, well, this is how we buy beer. This is what we do in Toronto. Like, this is what we do. Now we're gonna go smoke weed in a park. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
But
go
then
with
it
it.
just made me think back to that. I'm like, man, the whole concept of the beer store has not evolved. They tried to do those self-serve counters.
Didn't work.
people get too ish with that. Man.
People started jacking the self-serve.
Man,
Yeah.
I just feel I think we all might be better off if we actually do sell the beer in convenience stores.
Here.
But I don't know. That's and you know what? I don't even know if I have a hypothesis or a thesis on this.
You just
or
felt
anything.
real, like,
I may have to come. We may have to revisit this. But
It made
I
you
just,
feel some type of way.
I felt a ways. I felt a ways, and I felt bad. And I was like, God damn it! Why are you making me feel bad to buy a bunch of beers for my peoples, man?
I think all it's going to come down to is a call to action. The beer store needs to rebrand and reform, Lamar.
Why? Would they sell more?
But you know what? This is what I
Maybe.
think. You know, it could be very
Maybe.
simple. It
Yeah.
could be as
Maybe.
simple.
It's
Maybe.
like the Leafs. What do they really need to do?
You know what? It could be as simple. Maybe just change it on its ear. Like, if the beer store sold, like, bags of chips and cigarettes, maybe I wouldn't feel as bad.
Really?
But all
I
they
think
do
they're just
is
add to the scum
cigarettes.
factor of demographic they already attract.
What do you and Scum?
You smoke cigarettes. You smoke
I
cigarettes.
smoke cigarettes. Doesn't mean I want to go to the fucking beer store to get a pack of cigarettes with my 12-pack. You know?
Saves you a stop, but
It does. I
You
see
know.
the convenience in it, but I don't think adding
They should
cigarettes
sell
and
like
chips.
chewing tobacco and porno.
Yeah.
And
Get
just,
real
like,
scummy with
just
it.
everything. That's
Go
terrible.
America.
Just
What is,
only
uh,
Oh,
be-
America.
burnt beef jerky.
anyways.
I almost
I-
fainted with laughter.
Well, I think we
almost
should all.
fainted.
Here's a little bit of homework for everyone. You guys, our viewers, pay a visit
Yeah,
to
all
your
of them.
local. Pay a visit to your local beer store, and like, what are the first 3 things that come to your head? Because again, yeah, I think I went to. It's a bad sample size. Like, I went to the shittiest beer store in the city.
Quite possibly.
Arguably.
There are better ones for sure.
Okay, Summerhill,
Yeah.
I think, is the only good one in the city.
Yes, I would agree.
Otherwise, they're
My
all kind of
Greenwood and
shitholes.
Danforth one cleaned up nice.
Did it?
Yeah, Greenwood and Danforth cleaned up nice. Like, you walk
So
in there,
define
it's
a
nice.
cleanup. What's a cleanup like? What are you
it's-
saying?
It's clean. Okay, first off, let me say there's one by. So my house now, I live at Warden and Sinclair.
Okay.
And if you go a little further up the street to Sinclair and Birchmount,
Mm-hmm.
there's a beer store right there, and it is grimy as fuck. Right? And like you go in there, and it's like kind of. It feels just kind of like rusty. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
real grimy when you go in.
Like someone shit their pants in there.
Yeah.
Someone
yeah.
did shit their
And like
pants
the way
in
that
there.
you can tell the grimy beer stores now is
Yeah.
the normal ones. They have the displays now with
Yep.
the cases, well,
Yeah.
with the cans,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you can get your own cans. go
Yep.
Right.
and
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grimy ass ones don't have that, or their selection is
The one-
very small,
the one that a-
or it's not replaced as much because people are jacking them,
Yep.
or they don't want people to jack
The
them.
one that a
So it's
beer
not-
went to today, the one on Gerard, right?
Jordan.
Yeah, they used to have the display, and it just got straight boarded up.
Yeah.
Like, it just had to be boarded up.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The one at Greenwood and Danforth is nice. Like it's nice in there. Like it's
Yeah.
well lit.
Yeah.
Like I even found like the other grimy one is like kind of dingy looking in there. Like they don't pay the lighting bills or something. Like they just the overall just sense of it is kind of like what the hell? Like,
What it
doesn't
all
even
comes
make
down
sense.
to is the beer store is the coffee time to the LCBO Tim Hortons.
Yeah, but no.
Rebrand,
You would go
clean it up,
to.
reform, Lamar. You must reform.
I don't know. That's I don't. I think more like
what's
Galaxy Donuts or like what was the
Oh,
place by
man.
Fleur de Lis? What was in the old hood? That other donuts place.
Dip
Where
and
you'd
Sip?
buy like.
Oh,
Is it Dip
no,
and
it is
Sip?
Fleur de Lis.
There's a
Fleur de
Dip
Lis
and
was a
Sip.
donut shop.
I thought it was a bar, wasn't
It
it?
is now, but back in the day,
Yeah,
it
there was
like
the
little.
donut shop.
It was a
Yeah,
donut
yeah.
shop.
So like
We used
that,
to get
right?
day old donuts, and we were
Exactly.
like,
The
Yeah.
type of
Big-ass
donuts you
bag
bite
of it.
into and it smells like a fucking after hours and tastes like cigarettes.
when you're a little kid, you don't know what an after
fucking
hours smells
gross.
like. Okay, you just know that you
Yeah,
got
you're like
day old
8 years
donuts
old.
for like
Oh,
$2,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I
They
don't
tasted
know.
like cigarettes to me.
It's just
No, but
disappointing.
see, this is what would happen. Like, you talk about like a rebranding. They'd be like, "Yeah, we'll make it all like fancy and this and that," and then they'll roll it out, and then a year will pass. Like, let's check these numbers. Like, we sold the exact same thing as we always do because
not
like it's
more,
the beer
or-
store. No,
or
no, no.
attracted a
It's a
new
monopoly.
client
It's a
base.
monopoly. They have all the beer.
No incentive to like.
well, the LCBO has. beer.
LCBO has beer, and their prices are a little better on the
And I can use
selection.
my air miles there, and I don't have to feel like I have to take a shower when I leave there.
And
I think
I-
I need to do some research and write like an essay on this because I don't really know where I'm going with
Have a
this right
bulletproof
now, but-
window
Man,
that
it
is in the scummiest
it was
areas where
disappointing.
it's cash deposit first, beer later, and
That's a convenience store, though.
Yeah, but they're not gonna let
Bodegas,
convenience
like, make some
stores have it.
sandwiches.
They're not gonna let convenience stores have it.
Fair
There's
enough.
lobbyists that will keep that shit tight and keep it the way it is. The only thing, the realistic solution to this that you have to roll the dice on that is not gonna hurt you, but you gotta try. Rebrand, reform.
Maybe it's because
reform.
I felt like I was in an episode of The Wire, and I was in a lineup with a bunch of fiends, like trying to get those testers in the morning. It was just the wrong shopping experience. Not for beer. Shouldn't be like that for beer. You know, it's too much.
Ain't nothing nice.
It's
Ain't
too
nothing
much.
nice.
Ain't nothing nice. And you're right. Maybe it is going back to a reform.
It
Going back
all
to a
goes
Wire
back-
comment.
yeah.
It's reform.
You gotta reform.
Give us some shelves.
Diversify
you know?
your
If
bongs,
a man
nigga.
can't control himself to refrain to steal beer from the shelf, you know what? Just don't let him in. The guy didn't need to be drinking.
Why do you think Greenwood got well lit so the cameras could actually pick up
Basically.
facial recognition?
So, you know, like, let's help. Let's help by helping. You know what I mean? Anyways,
Yeah.
we'll get back to this on some other time once we've done
Fuck
some more
you,
research.
beer store reform.
I'm going the LCBO. Y'all
Ah,
suck.
I've been at that.
My whip drop like bitches' asses. Cargo, ready to package. Paid up. I see haters watching, so fucking turn it up. Let these bitches drop it. My whip drop like bitches' asses.
All right, it's that time you've been waiting for. Another edition of Selloff News.
Selloff!
For those of you unaware with how this works, we just fly through random news topics from wherever and give our quick thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's like CNN from the hood.
Sorry, I got sound.
Give me another one.
I
Give
have
me another
sound
one. Come
effects
on.
now.
Selloff.
I like it. We're going to start with the wedding of Kanye West to the Kardashian that will not be named. We don't really give a shit about that. Oh,
Don't care.
right? We don't really care about the wedding, but what we do care about is the throne. Jay-Z didn't even go to the wedding. Is that a crack atop the throne? Something to be worried about, or no big deal at all?
No, it wasn't a wedding. It was a television show.
Yeah, maybe the television show wasn't paying Jay and Beyonce
No.
enough
It's
to-
not about that. He's just like, I'm not showing up to your stupid fucking show on Bravo.
Yeah.
Like
Here's-
that's
here's the
that's the long and short of it. And
Yeah.
Kanye's probably like, yeah, I kind of get that
Of course.
because I'm a fucking stooge.
And he's like, I don't
Dumb
wanna be
talented
on-
stooge.
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah.
I don't want to be on this TV show either.
Yeah.
It's like, I imagine like Kanye's wedding to be like a fashion show, not even
Yeah.
like a wedding. It's
Yeah.
just like, what am I even doing here?
Like there were
what the
stories
fuck?
before about how Kanye never wanted to be on the show without his own set of camera people to like shoot it properly. Because
Wow.
he's like very into like arts and all that crap,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And
just
he wants it
narcissism
all
and,
shot.
like-
No, but he wants it all like shot properly. And like if you talk to like old school TV people, they'll talk a lot about reality TV and how terrible and like jump cuts and all that stupid.
So what,
shit.
you got like Michael Bay like fucking recording your fucking thing? Come on.
No.
Yeah,
It just
like,
it
like
just
walking down the aisle, the fucking explosion. It's like, ah.
Like drone cameras everywhere at your fucking wedding.
Fuck you, man. Get
Yeah.
the fuck out of your goddamn
The
wedding,
fuck outta
man. Get the
here.
fuck out of here.
All right, from weddings to graduation. I think the school is called Quinnipiac, or Quinnipiac, whatever it's called, University in Connecticut.
When you.
QU, something like that, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Anyways, a student who had dropped out of school prior to graduation didn't want her parents to find out that she had dropped out. So what she did was called in a bomb threat.
I can't do that these days, boy.
That sounds like a
Can't do that
Saved
these
by the
days.
Bell skit, you know, like one of those plots on like one of those terrible, you know, high school TV dramas gone wrong.
like
But that's
Grade
just
9,
like,
Jarvis.
what? Like,
That
who
happened at
Math.
Jarvis all
Yeah.
the time, man.
Because
But
they
that
didn't
was a
want to
different-
graduate?
That was a
Oh,
different
exam
time.
time.
Exam time.
Exam
Christmas
time.
time. People were like,
Yeah.
shit, I need to get presents.
No, exam time, that was a regular occurrence. I remember that. Like,
Yeah.
it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Man. At Jarvis, well,
It happened 3 times in 1 week in
we,
our
we,
grade
we all
9
knew
year.
who did
Bomb
it,
threat,
and it was
yeah.
kind of a chuckle. We're like, hey,
Yeah.
this person did. But like nowadays,
they
like
didn't
Put them
want
on
to-
post
blast.
9/11,
Put them on
like
blast right now.
post 9/11, post fucking, you
Yeah.
know,
Real
Columbine,
shit going
Newtown, all
Yeah,
this shit.
you can't.
Yeah, don't fuck with that.
Yeah,
shit,
you
man.
can't
That's-
really do that.
That'll
If it-
fuck you up. That'll
Like,
ruin your
take the old
future.
approach and fucking hire a hacker to change your fucking grades. You know what I mean? Like, make it look like you passed. Be like,
This is an
I don't want.
80s movie, man. Doesn't work like
what
that.
was that movie where they steal the SAT scores and like Darius Miles is in it?
Oh,
Do you remember that movie?
the one that went
movie
straight to
sucks so
DVD.
bad. That
Oh,
movie
man.
sucks so bad.
I
It
bet
was like
you, like, Mike
Erica
Epps was in it,
Christensen. No, it was like
and-
Erica Christensen. Is that her name?
Who?
Erica Christensen.
Yeah,
Is that her name?
exactly. Straight to
Ah,
DVD.
No
I
idea.
don't remember who's in it. But Darius Miles
Darius
is in it. He
Miles
plays
was
on
in
the
it.
basketball team.
Yeah.
Does he go
And they
like
come
this?
up with this huge plan. Maybe, I don't know. They come up with this huge plan to steal the SAT. And then they steal it, but then none of them end up using it because they feel guilty.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck what the hell is that?
But
I
this
don't know.
person at QU, I mean, like, shame on you for not thinking of a much better excuse to
And
not
Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
to not graduate, or at least fake the fucking graduation.
And you're ruining
Show
everyone
up.
else's graduation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
fucking-
show up in a robe, streak across the motherfucker, get drunk, and puke all over the dean. Do
Yeah.
something that will eject you from the actual ceremony, so it looks like you were there for graduation.
And
but
then
you
your
didn't really
parents will be
pass.
like, "Cool."
Fuck out of here.
And we also have the latest in TMZ drama with T.I. and Money Mayweather. As the story goes, supposedly Money May is trying to bang T.I.'s ex Tiny, which really doesn't make sense to me because if you ever see Floyd Mayweather and his roster of females on the Money team,
Yeah.
he could smash any chick he wants.
Any chick he wants.
So why you would want Tiny is beyond me.
I
But
think
anyways,
that's just a little crap. Even
There was
Stevie
a-
Wonder wouldn't fuck Tiny. I'm just being real. These are just my thoughts. Come on, man. It's Tiny we're talking about.
Okay.
T.I., do not shoot me if you come to Toronto.
So
He ain't
there's-
shooting
there's-
nobody, man.
He
Come
has,
on.
he has
Different
automatic
stories.
weapons.
Yeah.
there's
Please.
different
You
stories
know,
about...
you know who has automatic weapons? Stitches, son.
Stitches.
Stitches got what you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it?
I love selling blah.
Okay, sorry.
It's
Continue.
alright.
I apologize.
I'm
I apologize.
enjoying it.
Apologize.
So there's different sides to the story, of course. T.I.'s camp is going to tell the story of how T.I. swung and hit Floyd Mayweather, which doesn't really make sense. But that's the story that they're selling before security and everyone broke it up. And Mayweather obviously denies this. Because
course.
obviously he's the heavyweight champ.
And has
there's no way that a
registered
random...
weapons in his
He's
hand.
No,
not
but there's no
heavyweight,
way that-
but you know.
He's a boxing champion,
Yeah,
whatever weight class he's in.
Middleweight.
Call him middleweight.
Whatever. But he's saying that obviously there's no way that T.I. could hit him and drop
Unless
him or whatever. That
Tiny
doesn't make
was-
any sense.
Like bitching at him, and he's looking this way, and T.I. just scurried up, ran and crawled up his bodyguard's back, and then clocked him. Yes, but I'm just saying,
There's
like,
no
there's no
Best
way.
case scenario.
There's no
Best
way
case
you're
scenario
gonna-
for
there's no
T.I.
way.
He sucker punched a man, and then his security stepped in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's,
That's best
not
case scenario.
Mayweather. Mayweather has like
Worst case scenario is
very
that he
well trained.
actually did that, and he just got fucking demolished by a professional punch thrower.
Yeah, like, there's no fucking way. Like
what are you
Mayweather
kidding
will
me?
beat the shit
No,
out
but
of him.
There's a lot
Mayweather's
of-
in boxing matches like ducking punches like
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He
But
does
he's
the
gonna let
Philly
T.I.
shit.
But when you're in
But
the-
you know,
when you're in the
it's not
ring,
like
you-
T.I.'s throwing actual jabs.
Yeah.
T.I.'s like fighting like we
Oh,
fight,
what?
throwing like red wild punches.
T.I.'s the size of Greg, man. Like, how hard is he fucking punching? No
Hey, man,
offense. No
I can
offense.
throw the fuck
No,
down.
no offense. If I was Floyd Mayweather and you're T.I., no
You'd be a
offense,
little shorter.
I'd be a little shorter.
We'd be the same height.
You come try
T.I.
to...
and Mayweather are about the same height
Fair.
and same
Okay.
same body.
Mayweather
you know what I mean?
has been training
Yeah.
to beat people up
Yeah,
for like
of course.
almost 15, 20 years.
Yeah, he's been fighting for his life since he debuted
Like,
trap music.
he's like 40 years
T.I.'s
old. He's
on
been doing it for
Nickelodeon,
like
man. Fuck that motherfucker. Are you kidding me?
Maybe he thought
That's
he was on
bullshit.
another
Next
tape.
topic. That's garbage. Get the fuck
outta here.
Garbage.
So-
Fuck out of here.
Good times. Sounds
times.
like the good times that we always try to have each and every week on the
hey,
On
hey.
Blast podcast.
we sing it now.
We'll see you next week.
Holla.
On Blast.
bitch.
On blast. My whip drop like bitches' asses. Cargo, ready to package. Paid up. I see haters watching, so fucking turn it up. Let these bitches drop it. My whip drop like bitches' asses.